Hello world, and welcome to Ctrl+Alt+Danominator. My name is Dan, and this is the device. Did you miss him? I know I did. Been a while since we talked about this one, hasn't it? Yep, it's the Lenovo Yoga Tab Plus again, and actually I have a little bit of explaining to do because this is actually way older than you think it is. For those of you who don't know, this channel was actually supposed to launch about a year ago. Like, as in, it should have been running for at least a year by now. So I bought this device in anticipation of talking about it, and I never really got around to launching the channel when I wanted to. So I've actually owned this for about a year, and I'm happy to say that in a few weeks, I think I'll be able to make a full review on it because I have a lot to say on this thing. But the thing you need to know is overall, I love it. It is not a perfect tablet, and I would still say that Samsung software is a little more well put together, but again, Lenovo hasn't been in the tablet game as long, so I'm willing to forgive a few things, and honestly, there are some things I like about it more than Samsung. It is very customizable. I've been able to get rid of anything I didn't want, so all of the AI stuff that this thing is apparently marketed around, this is supposed to be an AI tablet. I've been able to disable all of it or delete it entirely via ADB. This is a really customizable device, and I mean, we've talked about it before, but man, just look at the design on this thing. It is just so sleek and so fun. I get a lot of mileage out of this tablet, and to be honest, at first when I did get it around January of 2025, I wasn't doing nearly as much with it. I was much more on a Samsung Dex kick at the time, so I was just kind of using my phone to do a lot of tablet-y stuff by plugging it into a monitor or a secondary screen. But lately, I have been getting so much mileage out of this, including using all the accessories that I have with it. Yeah, let me bring us back to the home menu today. I got fish. I have a lot of respect for a tablet that basically lets me do whatever I want with it. And this thing has so much power and so little lockdowns like Samsung does on their devices that I've been able to do pretty much everything that I want. And that includes enhancing that productivity with external devices, especially stuff with Bluetooth. Now, you guys know me already. I'm a bit of a tinkerer at this point. I'm sure you figured that out. So I tend to test all of my accessories with a new device because I want to see what they can all do. And so that is why today we get to open this guy. Yep, today we're going through all of my Lenovo Yoga Tab Plus accessories. And this might actually be a less complicated video than you think because, as I mentioned before, the Yoga Tab Plus comes with a lot of the accessories you need. So some of this stuff is going to be very expected, but it does give me a chance to talk more about the tablet and the ways that I use it without getting into a full review because again, I want to spend a few more weeks with it. Obviously, I've got this carrying case, but there's a couple of other surprises in here we'll get into in a minute, so let's open it up. All right, first up, let's get the obvious out of the way. Here's that keyboard from the original unboxing, and yep, I still use it, and no, I have not bought a US version. There's a reason for that, and we'll return to it. But we can go over this thing real quick again, just to get out some giggles. Yeah, no, this is still a pretty good keyboard, and the fact that it comes with the tablet itself is such a big win, man. I know Samsung devices come with the S Pen and everything, but this coming with a keyboard and stylus as one complete package, man, you just can't beat that kind of deal for the money I paid for it anyway. And I actually got it for a little less by importing. Now, of course, mine has the Korean characters, but overall, this is still a great keyboard. And again, it was so worth it to get this thing in teal. Oh man, I love this color. I don't know what it is with teal stuff lately. I've been obsessed with light blue and teal. This is my new problem, and I have no idea why I'm like this. As always, the keyboard pops in with a very nice snap, and it does that. And right here is the other half of the case. We've been over this before. This is the kickstand. I'm happy to say that this is way more solid than I expected to give it credit for. I thought I was gonna have way more issues with this piece, but nah, man. It just pops in. It is very solid, very, very well magnetized. The only problem I've ever really had with the keyboard and the kickstand is that if you have this kickstand just closed a little too much, the thing gets a little wobbly, but you do kind of get used to that after a while, to be honest. So I just kind of lean it back a little further and then bam, it's good to go. This is a full tablet, and in some ways it kind of feels like a small laptop or a Chromebook sometimes. This is a very solid typing experience all around. I will say when you're clacking down on the keys, they do feel a little bit hollow, but otherwise they're very solid. You see how like when the space bar comes down, taps very nicely. These are just kind of they're all right, honestly, but for, again, a keyboard that comes with the tablet, I really can't complain. And honestly, I do like the rounded edges of the keys. I don't think it does anything for the typing experience, but you can see at the bottom there, each one is a little rounded at the bottom. I don't know, it just adds a little character, a little personality. Lots of good function keys here. We have a mute button and a microphone mute button, which is actually kind of cool, just being able to have both of them there. And caps lock, all three of these do have an LED that lights up, which is really cool. No camera block for some reason. You can do that in the software itself, but I don't know, it's just weird that they have a microphone mute and not a camera mute, but whatever. Up and down, of course, with the volume. We've got brightness keys right here. A button to specifically turn off the trackpad, which is kind of useful, although to be honest, the trackpad's okay, I have never had to do that. We got a screenshot button, which is awesome, an instant full screen button, and when you press this, it actually does something really cool. We'll take a look at this really quickly. You can see when I press the full screen button and a full screen app, it actually brings the app down to a floating window, and that is really useful. And then if I go here, it brings it right back up to full size. Now this one's kind of fun. The button right next to it, check this out. It automatically launches the split screen app launcher, which is really cool. Honestly, just being able to do that really quickly is amazing. You can also escape to cancel that, which is cool. There is another button here, which is supposed to be for like Lenovo casting or like multi-device work. I've never used this. It's not that useful. We've got a lock button right here and a couple of programmable keys. These are pretty useful. I've actually set this one to launching the PC mode, which is another thing we'll be talking about in the full review. But again, this makes the floating windows even more usable, and they're easier to place wherever you want. It just works better in a lot of ways. If I press that again, it'll bring us right back to where we were. And then this I've actually set to play and pause. So any kind of media, I found it weird that this tablet didn't have a play pause button for anything, given that it's got all the volume stuff right here and then the brightness. So I set this to play and pause, and I actually used Keyboard Mapper for that because for whatever reason, it's not something that you can just set within the settings to play and pause your media. There's a bunch of other shortcuts that are built in, but it was just easier for me to set this to whatever I wanted using Keyboard Mapper, which is a really nice app that you guys can check out in the Play Store. It is so helpful. We'll probably talk about that in another video one day. But yeah, overall, great setup, right? I mean, look at how sleek this all looks when it comes together. And again, if you're just carrying the tablet like this, it honestly covers pretty much everything you need. Now, I mean, there is still, you know, exposed edges. I'm really not a fan of that kind of thing. I would much rather have a bumper on it or something. But this is a Lenovo tablet, and I have not seen a lot of really specific accessories for that. I just think it's really not a Lenovo thing. I'm sure they've made this for Samsung devices where you could put like a small guard or a bumper on the side. But this is a Lenovo device. They're not that popular yet, and hopefully that'll change in the future, but for now, this is okay for the protection. You still get to see that very sleek bump on the back, and I still like to grip the tablet like this sometimes. It is pretty easy to hold, although if I am ever going to use it holding it upwards, honestly, I just take the keyboard off. I just hold it like a regular tablet. I have no reason to change this. It's just easier to hold this way. You can do what I guess a lot of 2-in-1 laptops do and hold it like this with the keyboard folded back, but this never doesn't feel weird to me, so I just usually hold it without the keyboard. Rounding out the accessories included with every purchase, we have the Lenovo Tab Pen Pro. This thing is pretty good, honestly. As a stylus, it's just okay, but I have a lot of respect for it just because it feels very comfortable to use. It's very Apple Pencil-y, but it is a little lighter, and I've gotten a lot of usage out of it. In my opinion, as long as it's good, it never hurts to have a decent stylus with you, and I do get plenty of mileage out of this. I think there are some things it could do better, and the haptic stuff, the shortcuts, the sliding up and down, I wish I could say I got more use out of that stuff, but I really don't. I mainly use this for sketching and when I feel like navigating the tablet with a pen, and that is all it really needs to do for me for it to be a good pen. And again, comes with the device. I can't complain. This is such a good package by itself. And if you decide to get one of these from the US, you get all of it here. Everything you see here is included with the tablet. You just get it in white instead of teal. Make of that what you will, I guess, if you have a color preference. But we don't care about this stuff anymore. Let's get into the interesting, juicy stuff in the bag, why don't we? So, this actually also comes with the device, but we'll talk about it very briefly. As I mentioned before, the stylus does come with a replacement tip right in the box, which is such a cool thing. I don't know a lot of devices that do this actually, except for maybe drawing tablet pencils, but I just think it's nice that they included that in there. I assume the US version has the same thing. But let's open up this pouch here for a moment. The first thing, of course, is the Yoga Pro mouse. I think this thing is all right. I mean, it's not especially impressive as a mouse. It definitely doesn't feel like it's made of the highest quality stuff. Like, something about this wheel really bothers me. It's got that like plasticky sheen, not metallic. It's definitely not made of metal. The scrolling is just okay, but again, for something that came at least with the version that I got, which was from Korea, including this in the package, it definitely helps and I can't complain about it. We'll actually be talking about how the keyboard and trackpad work versus using an external trackpad and a mouse later on when I fully review the tablet. But let me say, there are actually some advantages to using an external thing instead of the trackpad that's included with the keyboard. All right, next up, of course, is the charger that came with the device. Somebody actually recommended that I get an adapter for the charger that came with this thing because it is, of course, not for this country. But as it turns out, I totally forgot this was included in the box too. The people who shipped this out to me from eBay, they included a couple of these adapters in box. So yeah, I do have it now. I still think this looks ridiculous, but of course this comes with the device. Not much to talk about there. We've got the cable, which also comes with it. Not much to talk about, does the job. Now this thing is kind of fun to talk about. This is a Belkin USB-C hub. I tend to keep one of these with most of my devices if I can, because you never know when you might want to make your device a little more adaptable. Your phone, your tablet, most of these can use one of these by now. This is a pretty simple one. All it really has is power delivery, 2 USB ports and an HDMI, but that's honestly all I need for this tablet. And I don't have to pull this out very often, but it is very nice to have in the bag. It's very simple, so this is a good piece. And actually, this was one of the things I got from that Staples that was closing for, I believe, half off? Yeah, everything was 50% off at that closing Staples. So hey, can't complain about having another one of these. Now then, what could this be? Alright, gonna spoil a future review in here. This is actually a part of something called the Logitech Casa. And if we look at the back here, it's the Casa Touch Trackpad. I have a lot of interesting things to say about trackpads, especially on mobile devices, and I'm kind of looking forward to making a video about that in the future. But basically, I got one of these from eBay, and I had to go through a whole thing to get it. There was actually a problem with it being listed as new, and it was not. Man, I just do not have the best luck with eBay nowadays. I did end up getting a halfway refund for it, so I decided to keep it because honestly, besides being used a little bit, the condition's pretty good. This is a very interesting trackpad because it's basically the same thing as something like a Logitech, I believe it's called a Combo Touch. Basically that kind of trackpad you see on iPads, which is really neat because it brings that click anywhere feature to Android or any other devices. However, there is a big asterisk with that. This trackpad only works with this device so far. I have no idea why this is. I have had so many weird interactions with this touchpad specifically. It doesn't connect to my Samsung. It doesn't connect to my mom's tablet, which is running a higher version of Android. I believe I managed to get it working with a couple random other devices I own, like the Motorola. I just tried it with the Razer because I thought it would be funny. And half of the multitasking gestures didn't work. This is such a weird device, man. And what's even stranger is when you use a dongle with it, then it starts working with other devices. I don't know why it's like this, but that's a video for another day. Trust me, we'll be coming back to this because I do want to show it off in action, but this is for the Lenovo Yoga Tab Plus, so we're just gonna leave it as it is for the moment. All right, last thing to go. Yeah, you guys remember this, right? Logitech Keys-To-Go 2, that thing I got for 40 bucks at the closing Staples. This is still a great portable keyboard, and it's actually the reason that I have not bothered getting a US version of the keyboard for this. I have a touchpad now, I have a keyboard now, I don't need to get anything else. This tablet is basically perfect now. And there is something just kind of special about having a tablet that, despite having an attachable keyboard and trackpad, also can just connect to a Bluetooth keyboard, so you don't need to have the whole thing as one set all the time. Say you're working at a desk or something and you want the keyboard a little lower and you want the screen up here, just being able to detach them is nice. Now, from what I understand, OnePlus of all companies eventually made a couple of tablets that had a keyboard that does connect directly with the pogo pins if you want to use it like that, but the keyboard also detached and allowed you to use it with Bluetooth. Regardless of how you feel about OnePlus, that's a pretty cool feature, and I have not seen any other tablets do this. The Logitech Combo Touch on my iPad doesn't do it, the Magic Keyboards don't do it. This is kind of the next best thing because it's about as thin as one of those keyboard cases, so I can't complain. It fits very well into the case itself. If I just put this in here, and then I put the tablet in the bag without dropping and breaking everything, of course. There we go. It barely takes up any extra space. I just zip it up and I'm good to go. That just leaves the case itself. This is from Case Logic, and I will double check the website listing so that I can pick up the direct link, and I'll have it in the description if you want it. But this ended up being a perfect fit for the Yoga Tab Plus. It's actually designed for a Chromebook, which is funny, I mentioned Chromebooks earlier. This thing is like the exact same form factor. It fits so nicely in this case, and all the accessories, there's plenty of room for them in here. I just happen to have a little spot for the replacement stylus nub, which is great. Everything just zips up and it's good to go. So here, first of all, I end up just putting my cable right here, and then I grab the charger and that fits in there. Put the Belkin dock right next to it, put the mouse in the middle, and then the trackpad right there. And it all just zips up pretty much perfectly. Now, you might be wondering why I have both a mouse and a trackpad, and the reason for that is that honestly, it depends on the use case. Sometimes the precision of a mouse is better, sometimes the multitasking gestures and especially sliding up and down and left to right is just better on a touchpad, especially with a mobile device. But then here, of course, we'll take a look at the inside. This thing is really nicely padded. You can see how like nice and soft the material is on this side, and then a bit of a harder end on this side. So what I do, generally speaking, is I'll flip this guy around so that it's just like this, and I'll put it in these two little slots here. This is basically just a little extra elastic, so when you open the bag, the tablet doesn't come falling out if you open it a certain way, so that's fine. Put the extra keyboard in here if I need it, and there we go. This has actually become like the perfect bag for me to take anywhere, especially to something like a cafe where I'll work on scripts, draft ideas for new videos, make thumbnails. I do so much on this now, and I'm honestly really glad that I got this tablet specifically because it's allowed me to mess around with the future of Android a lot more. I've mentioned this before, but the phone that's filming this, the S23 Ultra, has not been updated in a while. I just really like where the software is at, and I don't have any reason to upgrade. But this guy, I have been giving all of the updates, so I've been seeing the new developments with Android on this guy specifically. And generally, the multitasking on it is really good. I've been able to switch between apps very quickly. Performance is amazing. Man, it is incredible what even just getting this case does for it, because now I can take this tablet basically anywhere, know that it's safe, all of its included accessories and anything else you want to bring with it fits right in here. And yeah. That's it, man. Again, I just need a few more weeks to spend a little more time with the advanced stuff about the tablet. I want to make sure that I'm thorough. This is a really important review to me because I haven't seen a lot of people talk about the Yoga Tab Plus since it came out. There were, of course, the usual tech reviewers who were talking about it when it first released because, yeah, this was kind of a big deal. Seeing this all-in-one package being sold together for, I want to say it was about $700 here in the US. That is really good for a tablet, especially when it comes with a great keyboard and a great stylus. You just don't get stuff like that. This is really close to a Tab Ultra in my opinion. It's a little smaller than a Samsung, but it doesn't matter. The screen is nice and big, it can plug into a bigger one. You can just do so much with this, and the accessories heighten that because again, you've got the multitasking gestures with something like a touchpad, you get the precision of a mouse if you want to use it, and you can just grab any old Bluetooth mouse, of course, for one of these. I've used I think it was a Logitech MX Anywhere at some point on a tablet like this, and even my Samsung worked great. And yeah, USB-C hub, of course, for some extra functionality if you ever need it, plugging in micro SD cards, USB stuff. It's just incredible how far mobile devices have come. Can you tell I'm a nerd yet? I just love talking about this stuff. Now, for those of you who are wondering, no, I have not put a screen protector on this. Why? Well, I mean, look at it. I'm not really a super rugged person, and if I was, I would not take this with me on a rugged trip. I would take something like a tiny tablet and put it in an OtterBox or something like, I don't know, an iPad mini or whatever. But again, I don't really go on trips like that where I would need this kind of technology. So honestly, just putting it in this case and then bringing it all out when I want to work on something and then putting it back when I'm ready to go, that's enough protection for me. And it does also have, of course, the giant kickstand and the keyboard trackpad combo covering it if you're just carrying it around. So I haven't bothered putting tempered glass on this, but if I ever come across a concern, I guess I could. I don't know, man. When it comes to this kind of thing, I just don't feel the need to do it anymore. I do have a screen protector and a very hefty case on my phone because I don't trust myself. I take that everywhere. But with one of these, I feel like a case is pretty much good enough. So I hope that answers anybody's question about protecting this thing. With that said, that's really all I have to say about this tablet for the moment, and I hope you're looking forward to the full review in a few weeks. I can't wait to talk more about this thing and the different ways I've been using it, and especially those accessories. Some of them will be returning to as their own separate videos because I can nerd out forever, guys. This channel's not gonna die for a long time. So I hope you guys are all looking forward to it. In the meantime, thank you for watching this video, and if you have any more questions about how I use this device and its accessories, please drop me a comment, ask anything. I'm open, I got time. You guys have already been asking so many great questions, and thank you for that. I miss stuff all the time. I really appreciate when you guys bring up stuff to me. So until next video, this is Ctrl+Alt+Danominator signing off. See you later, tech heads.